John McCaig, Jack McCaig, John Jack here. That dude working for God. Hey, um, but aren't we all working for God? Come on. So, uh, the plan today was to have a series of shows, and just go through the book of Revelations. But God makes the plans, you know what I mean, the real plan, and I just go along. So, this show's dedicated to a great patriarch. The Poe family lost, his patriarch today, and so Alla lost a father, Pamela lost a husband, and the baby to come is going to miss a grandfather. So anyway, I'm not going to go into Revelations today as I plan to, but I'm going to go into Revelations as God plans it. Um, so I maybe it'll be next week. I will go through the book of Revelations, line by line and so on. But it's really life. Life and death is a life and death matter. You know what I mean? Like this game is a life and death game. Uh, it's very difficult. When I teach my work, I teach, oh, you get eternal life, right? And Mayor Baba says it one way, I say it one way. But I focus on one area, like actually remaining in a body and living. Oh, that's eternal life. But of course, Mayor Baba explains the other side to it too. Um, so what I plan to do today was go into the book of Revelations, and if you read that book, it's incredibly uh, difficult to understand it. Without God's help, no way. Why is that? It's because we're in a time loop. You see, and Revelations, that book is describing the end of the time loop, but it's also describing the beginning of the time loop, right? Because that's what How do you describe the end and the beginning? You know, uh, it doesn't jibe. Like the gears don't mesh with what we experience in reality, right? Because you're born, you die, that's it. Hey, that's what I see. I see the loop. I see this line, and so it's very hard. Give That's all. That's what it is. You get one life, and that's one life to live. That's what you hear all the time. Is that right? And so the enemy is death and all this. Uh, but I have shown if you come over all the way with Jesus Christ and so on, sign up and so on, and really do that, it is possible to you know beat death. It is possible to do that, but you know, I don't know if people have been paying attention, but I've been trying to die every day. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if you've been trying to really paying attention to that. How this work started, more than 12 years ago. And what I've been pushing out there is me trying to die every single day. Like every day. Watch it. Then it's like, hey, I can't be killed, You can't be killed till God decides it. So, you know, we're in a time loop, yes. It starts to stops. Okay. But then there's this other loop going on, right? The loop of lives. Yes. And we all have different roles to play for God. Everyone's working for God. And so we all have different roles to play, right? We're all interrelated to this time loop, but then we also each have our individual time loops. In other words, the game is set as the amount of game players in each slot who's in physical form. So if one leaves, if one's coming in, one has to leave. There has to be a space for the next one to come in. So, that has to happen. New children coming in need someone to leave. Uh, to make a space for that to happen. Uh, and all of us are in a different, timeline spiritually. Some of us are, getting near the end, and it doesn't have to do with life. It has to do with another timeline that's outside of bodies. It has to do with like our time. you know, that's outside the body. Now, Al and I went to India. I was like, hey, Alan, you got, whoops. Oh, I keep all the photos of my children in there. But this is, what I got when I went to India. Oh, sorry. More photos of my children. I'll give them to God. Anyway, this is what my life looked like. This is in whoops. This was in it was in Sanskrit on a palm leaf, and then it was translated here in a Hindi and into English. And so that's I have two books on that with that information. I was like, hey, if they're still around, we should go. You should go read your life too, man. Let's go look. Anyway, they completely don't do it that way anymore. The same group because the elders, like, they died. You know what I mean? Like, they did it perfectly back then. I mean, my God, just go read your, like, you can read it in English. They do the work. They translate everything. Amazing. But they didn't treat us that way. Uh, Hey Jay. All right, listen, everyone. To everyone who supported this week, this show, Jay, George, Pamela, thank you. And God watch over, Pamela's husband and Alice's father as he's with God. And that's what I want to talk about today. Revelation is a book, is trying to describe the end and the beginning in the same time. That book is trying to describe both parts at the same time. Uh, Thank you, George. Good to hear from you too. Thanks for the support, man. That's why that book is so incredibly difficult, and that's why when someone dies, it's so incredibly difficult because we're not experiencing that. How do you describe the beginning and the end if you only see one side of it? If you only see the end, but it's like, wait, I do see the beginning because I see someone being born, but you don't physically see where we go, right? Uh, where do we go at night? Like, we're not here. Uh, there's a time when we're with God, and then we're in between lifetimes, and then we're going to take another one. So there's one loop going, that's the whole time loop, right? And then there's each individual's loop, right? When you see a cover of Bear Baba's The Advancing Stream of Life, it's like a series of loops. It's a line, but it's like a little E repeating, right? A loop, a loop, a loop. That's what each life is like. It's a continuous line of loops. And then it starts again, and there's a pause in between. Yes? When you're doing that, there's a loop, and then there's a line, and then there's a loop, and then there's a line, the loop being the body, and a line being the pause in between. But eventually it reconnects somewhere with God, and we finish the process of incubation in this crystal egg, and pop, we're done. We don't have to, come into the egg over and over and over and over endlessly forever. It does end at some point, you see. Well, what would be the point of chickens and eggs if the eggs never hatched? There would be no chickens. Uh, there'd be no coming back to God. It doesn't. That wouldn't make no sense. You see, it would be God is running a pointless everything. It's like, no, God doesn't run a pointless everything. It has a point. So when I show that I can't be killed as someone under the power of God, but am I was I actually initially starting that, to prove God you can't be killed? No, I was trying to get killed so I get out of here because I don't want to be here no more because I don't like this game. It's hard. And I got notified I got to the end of the game, so why do I want to be here? Like, it's lost its savor. When the salt loses its flavor, right? Gonna crush you underneath into the dirt. Savor, right? Savor, savior. Where you when in that passage of the Bible, right? When the salt loses its savor or saltiness, but it's actually savior. That savor. Then you need a savior. When someone with I and the savor. I brought the salt, the ocean, right? I brought the salt, the ocean. The ocean's above you. I'm bringing the salt guy. Bring the salt. Uh, so what I'm trying to say is God decides all of this. When a time loop is and when it isn't. My stuff's all written down beforehand. Everybody's all this stuff is written down beforehand. It's all decided. We're along for the ride that we signed up for to do it. Is it possible to shorten it or forestall it? Excuse me, or anything like that? As Mayor Baba said, only help with the perfect master. Because then you could connect with God and your progress, and you can see it from way up. Oh, I see all this going on now. It doesn't have power over me because I've seen the whole game. So I've had it explained to me, and then man, I don't know what's going on with the allergies, but it just rained and everything's back to life in Florida. Crazy. Big changing of everything. Uh, oh, so this isn't easy to Revelations is trying its best to describe the beginning of time. In other words, nothing exists. There's nothing, and then everything exists, and then also what happens in the whole time in between. How do we describe that event? The beginning, the end. How do you describe a whole time loop? That's what it's describing. It's not describing, just the end of time. It's describing the time loop, Revelations, and that's the overall time loop. But that is happening individually also for each soul. You see, so that's not easy, but it's a necessary component. Like there have to be the amen, you know. Hey, amen. Get to work. Get out there and in the in Disney World and run those rides. And it's Mickey's real, never break. Mickey Mouse is real. Donald Duck, you're real. Put on the costume. You're all real. Do it. Like because people are here at Disney to have a good time. They signed up to win their soul back. So come into the game of life, and that has to happen. Play the game. This is the rules. So there have to be someone at each point in that. Like at each point where you're working the rides at Disney, and you're sitting there all day, you're taking all the heat, literally it's hot there. And then, another, it's like you could begin to count how many times someone has spilled a Coke on you. And then I'll then put another check here for how many people just spilled this soda. What kind of soda? Like it would be not easy is what I'm trying to describe. You would want to have something on your mind to get you through your working day that this is going to end one day. I don't have to work this right forever. It just seems like forever. And so, for the we even, they need, that's who most of the Revelations is talking to them. Listen, get out there and do it, You're going to get reprieved. This is how it happens. But it's not easy because that's on everybody's mind at every point, no matter what you know. You're always trying to achieve this homeostasis with your incubation in this egg, which, excuse me, those two don't go together. You see what I'm saying? You want homeostasis and you're incubating. You're not going to stay at one point. You see, progress will be made as God decides, has intended, has already pre-planned. You know what I'm saying? So that will occur. Question: the rich that have like 4 houses and never seem to be in them are fallen angel. Yeah, but isn't everyone a fallen angel, even if they have their memory wiped? Obviously we're still under the firmament. You, Jay, and me, like you're still under the firmament. So we ain't left yet. Aren't angels with wings in heaven? My point being, you know, or if you fell, you're underneath heaven, you're under the dome, you're cast in here, your star, your halo, your soul is still in the firmament, not in here. Just your spirit is in here playing this game for your soul to win it back, And they're on the Disney ride, running the Disney stuff. Like we need to play the game, and they need to run the game. So those are the most recently, uh, in the process of evolution, right? Become an angel, fallen angel, one of the 7,000, right? That, and then you're going to make it to God. Yay. That's the process of after you go through the animal states or whatever, uh, and still, that's describing the animal states too. Fallen angel, well, angel when you're with God, you don't have a body yet. Fallen angel when you come under the dome, then which is in the process of, we call them human, you know, but you're trying to get back to oneness with God in your consciousness through your actions. Now you're not separate from God. You've earned that right uh, by your fealty to God. So they're earning that their fealty over time. They just have more knowledge and information, being that they work at Disney World. They know everything about Disney, and we don't. We have our memory wiped, and we're playing the game. So it's just two different types of participants. Um, with a different rule set, right? In other words, run the game. Like, they're gonna have to have a full game. Some of you are gonna have to die. Some of you gonna you're gonna have to play your role. Uh, it's not gonna be easy. But your role is to watch over the 7,000 playing the game, make sure that they're okay, and raise them, nurture them as best as you can in this nurturing, egg situation here, where they're supposed to promote and build our consciousness to come to God and make a space for that to happen. They're holding the space, you know? Like I go to the drum circle. How are they earning? It's like a crucible, a circle, like a map of the world, right? Come on in. You know, this is a spiritual war in here in this little circle. And the fallen angels, they're outside the circle playing the drums. Let's make this happen. Let's hold the space so that you all can come in and do whatever you decide to do in the game. And we'll hold the space for it to happen. You see, holding that space, sacred duty for God, you see? So that's what they're doing. I mean, what are they know both sides and everything, what's going on, what are houses to them. I mean, don't they deserve really, to have an okay time here if they get stuck under the dome? This place is not easy. Uh, it just isn't. It isn't easy to be in a body and what I have to breathe and eat, all that stuff the humans do today. Not really, not all of them. So they just have a different, experience here. When you go to Disney, there's an employee parking lot. Got to get to work quick. Here's where it is, and off a separate exit probably to get into work than coming in with all the tourists who are going to Disney World. Come in quick. I'm working there. You're going to pay me if I got to wait in traffic. Oh, well, come on in. This is a quick way. Yes. ID badge. Ching. You're in. Okay. Put on the suit. Put on the costume. Smile. Smile like Homelander up in there now. Yeah. Don't, explode them with lasers. Uh, so this is borne out a very, you could see it. I've noticed it at the beginning of the time loop here, because if you can see easily, that we're in a time loop, the time is doing this loop, then you can easily understand, well, if all the entire everything, human, uh, vegetation, fish, fowl, if everything that's alive, bugs, are on a stop start, you know what I mean? You all die, you all start, start, you're alive, boop, click, this is when the switch goes off, you're all click, on, off, you're all born, not born, you're all alive, you're all dead. Everything. So that's a completely normal and natural occurrence that God makes happen. You see what I'm saying? It's like once you see it, that that's the way God runs everything. Well, someone can start to stop any time, but it is possible to, beat death and taxes. It is possible, but it is not every individual's role to do that, right? Some are employees, some are running the game, some are playing the game, some are winning the game, some are watching the others play the game. Yes, everyone has a different role. I'm trying to get everyone into the role closest to God. Hey, guess what? You can't be killed. So if you do all this crazy, outlandish, miraculous stuff for God, you reach into a whole nother set of, possibilities. But do you have to do that? You actually, it depends on your position and what you're up to, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Yeah. There have to be births and deaths. May he seem like there's a continuous timeline there. There has to be the lie, and then there has to be the truth hidden in your face. If you look at here's a piece to look at about Revelation, our revelation that we find ourselves in. If you look at the Rolling Stone magazine, issue 42, and you look for what's between issue 41 and 42, because that's where the time loop is. Yes, the issue, the time of 9/11, 1969, is between the issues of issue number 41 and issue number 42 of Rolling Stone magazine. And in between that is a special issue that they do, not by date. I think it was bi-weekly back then at the beginning of the time loop. That was you know, so it wasn't monthly or whatever. I think it was bi-weekly. Uh, you know, that magazine. But there was this one that had, was from right before time started. And then there's this break in which they do this special issue on Woodstock. And there's, someone stated on the cover of this special issue, uh, and a Rolling Stone magazine standing in water, like naked. And a couple of people in the background, like, Woodstock. And then the next issue, issue 42, is the cover of is about Woodstock. That that's I was like, what's going on with that? Because I look at where Mayor Baba shows up. His time he's in Rolling Stone is in 1969, where he does the center cover of the whole magazine. I was like, oh wait, what's going on with the actual start of the time loop? And then you look into because that's all about music and the summer of love, and that's when it starts right then at Woodstock. That's when it starts. Actual time starts. You look at the Allman Brothers, who have an album called Beginnings, which was a combination of two albums. I used to listen to Grateful Dead and Allman Brothers when I was a young teenager, grown up in DC. So, but if you look at the Allman Brothers, they have an album called Beginnings, which is a reissue in 1973 of two former albums that they had. This is not an old band. The first album of the Allman Brothers they ever made. So the third album they ever made is a reissue of their first two albums. And that album is called Beginnings, is the name of the reissue of the two albums. The first album from 1969 in August, so right before the time limit, is called the Allman Brothers. And the second one, after the time limit starts, is called Idlewild South. And the reissue of both of them is called Beginnings. So, they know they're in a time loop. It's like, look, here's from before, here's after, here's the one, you know what I mean? Like, they completely get it. They 100% get it. It's just borne out everywhere that we're in a time loop. I mean, once you see it, you can't unsee this. They know everything and every detail about it. And so if they could keep that hidden from the general public, come on. And they all know. And they didn't tell me. God had to tell me. They didn't tell me. No one told me. God told me. And then he's like, no, have a look. I'm like, what? And then to find out they all know? Well, of course. That's impossible. That's so far past impossible. That is in a realm of impossible that can't even be, you know, treated as a possibility to anyone rational because they all go, man, you're crazy. Yeah. Only thing is, what I'm saying is true. So that it's a miracle, it's impossible. Hey, agree. It's happening. You say it's not. Unfortunately, that's bad news for you because you haven't seen the truth yet. But it's very simple once you see it. It's impossible not to see it. So can you say, oh, God is watching over a time loop, and they all know, but isn't watching over every soul, and it's an individual time loop? I mean, it's happening, and they're being watched over. That means there are thousands of these fall angels, whatever. Like, when you watch that movie John Wick, and John Wick's in the middle of New York City, and he's talking with the guy that runs a hotel there in Manhattan, and the guy in Manhattan, he's trying to teach John Wick something, and he's all of New York City. He's like, okay, stop. He says stop into his phone, and everyone in New York City stops on a dime and turns their head and looks at the guy. And it's like, yeah, well, that's actually what's going on in the Truman Show. The rest of it's all of it's fake, and they know it. So you say in each individual is watched over, by God, and the ones that work for God who are here. That's that's impossible. You see what I'm saying? Like, once you see what's going on and the powers behind it, and that is so impossible to see. They're so good at it. They're so practiced at it. They never break. How long you been doing this? Yeah. How long you been working at the amusement park? Oh, forever. I mean, literally forever. You know what I mean? They never get it wrong. They never break. They never tell on themselves. They never tell about the things we need to know. They never tell, because then you would have recognized a prophet who's allowed to tell. I'm allowed to tell. They're not allowed to tell. Difference. You see? What do you write down here, Jay? Birds everywhere, squirrels everywhere, right? So where are the thousands of dead squirrels and birds, right? My whole life, right? But where are they at night? I mean, if you're looking, you ever gone up in a tree at night or going through the forest at night and just going everywhere at night? Like I used to walk around in the dark, and I like to do that in the woods to see what's up. No one's out there, no birds, no animal, nothing. It's like, where do they get, exactly? What's the explanation for this? Thank you. Where It All Begins studio album by the Allman Brothers bands. Well, this was called Beginnings. I don't know that one. I don't know that. I'd have to look that up, Jay. For like Woodstock, how did they get all of the unknown best performers? They're all were unknown, right? These are all the famous bands, and they're all, what? And they all had an album out from like 2 month before or whatever. Every song perfect on every album. It's like, what? Wait, what? Start the show. Okay, first act. That's always the first act. You gotta love them. They're great. At Woodstock, here they are. You know what I mean? It's like, restart the show. Okay, you're up again. That's what it is. No, yeah, John Wick. No, it's John Wick's just about the hive, and how they operate. The storyline and that kind of BS is kind of like all that killing and stuff. That's all fake, but I mean, the other part that's sort of the background of it, that's all like real. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, oh, let's tell a fake story to the humans, but let's in the background tell the whole truth. You see what I'm saying? It's funny that way. Uh, but it's also true about John Wick. Like he has these things happen to him, and it keeps him here. Oh, I thought you were out of the game, John. It's like I thought I was out of the game too. Man, you touch one finger in that game, your game reaches right back up, and you're back in the game. John's like, yeah. So, his anger and his affront at what's been done to him in the game, because it absolutely isn't fair, this game, seemingly, is what keeps him in the game. And the game's like, yeah, oh, okay, kill John Wayne, it's like, but he can't be killed ever. Start again. Do it again. Take 1 million. Just goes on forever. So if you actually were to finish the game on time and get a reprieve and achieve death, the ultimate achievement, uh, and get out of here early and win the game and did what you're supposed to do. If you're a great patriarch and your family is well taken care of and they made it to God and the truth, didn't you do your job? And isn't it fair if you were to leave early? Honestly, isn't it fair? That could be fair. I'm just saying, how is that not fair? Like, but if I were to preach that and teach that to everyone and say that that's a possibility, I mean, why am I here? To help you all, you see, but it's a different position in the game. I'm like, what I do that was so bad. It's like, bring out the list. It's like, no, those were rhetorical. It's like, well, we have that list. It's like, yeah, but I don't want to hear it again. I don't want to. You wipe my memory for a reason. Thank you. you know. Ugh. But now I'm cool. Yeah, now you're cool. Go ahead. But you want the list? We got that list. They remember everything. You see. I said I'd be here, so I'm here. I'm following along with my word and the bond I have with God, who put me in prison to make the agreement, you know. But we're finalized on that, so I feel okay. You make fun of yourself, cut up past makes laugh. Yeah, dude. I mean, my point being, I mean, how can you win this game with like, how do you win any game? Oh, I in baseball, let's just say it's recorded this pitcher threw a perfect game. You know, how often does it happen? Almost never. And this is professional sports. How often does it happen at the high school level, the college? I think it's like, you know, but before that perfect game were how many, losses, like lost again. You know what I mean? Until you throw a perfect game, and maybe not in that lifetime, maybe not in that body. Like it's very rare event. Yes. No, that's that character of God who plays God in Westworld, right? He he's like, humans are only given one tool, a single tool to advance. They're not given another tool, the mistake. Humans are not given another tool to advance. That's, I say I use the scientific method, formal hypothesis. Oh, hey, let me see if this is real. And then go test it out. Go see make your mistakes until you come up with, oh, hey, this is working. That's true. Oh, hey, here's how you do it. So how many mistakes do you have to do that to get there? In this lifetime, too many to count. In all the lifetimes, way too many to count. And yet they're all like, no, we have that. We've accounted for every mistake, everything, they watch everything. Everything's accounted for, the cross, everything. And so really isn't that the cross and when the scales even out, that's the moment when the soul is like, you're freed. That's what Baba said. But, Mayor Baba, but isn't that also like, the egg timer is like, how long when a chicken is born out of the egg? Like it's a certain amount of time, and then ding, that's it. You see? I guess every egg, right, could be hatched at exactly the same time, but where's the game in that? Like that is a possibility. This game could work that way, but then we'd all be the same ages, the same everything. That'd be a much easier game to see our way out of, but not really. We'll all be like exactly the same. Like you see, there's no someone that knows a little more because they've been here a little longer. That wouldn't be happening. So We have that as a benefit to see who's made more mistakes. The mistake makers are the ones who learn the most, willing to make a mistake, go outside of the, you're supposed to do this. Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality? This is not an easy game. If only a few get to leave out of the millions here every time, is it an easy game? Humans aren't like stupid compared to the rest of the species. They're hyper intelligent. You look around, you're like, oh, I'm smarter than you know, a lizard can't drive a car. You know, I'm smarter than a lizard. Pretty, I'm just right. Like that. That's an ant. I could step on it. I'm above it, so I guess I'm above it on the food chain, right? And the rest of everything here. That's the way God set it up. So that's obvious, but then it's like, oh, there's a hierarchy within the humans, and you see it, and then there are these other cycles within cycles. There's a 64-year time cycle, but then there's my individual soul cycle going on in it. But we should be fighting to see outside of the script. And if the script says you could die, then we should be fighting for, let me see if that's actually true. Me, I want to die because I've been over on the other side of death and I don't want to be in life. This place is, the game. I want to be done. And I've been done. And the guy's like, well, you said if I brought you back over, you go back into the game and work for me. I was like, yeah, I said that. So go put on the Mickey hat. I was like, oh, fine, I'll put on the Mickey hat. Okay, you're done when I tell you it's done. Okay, fine. That's the way it is. It's like, okay, put on the Mickey hat. I love Mickey. Rat World is so great. Come to Rat World. The egg timer only has 64 increments. Right? Not funny. Oh, you put computer duster spray on my friend's car, you see, it's 40% more efficient. Really? That's funny. I mean, what's really going on here? Like what is actually going on? Because when you find out about reality, is a whole different way you're going to live your life. Just a completely different way. And when I stand there, like last night, and I stand there on a boardwalk at the edge of the beach with a bunch of these fallen angels around me saying, hey, how's it going? And I'll get a hug and I look out at the beach and it's beautiful. There's a sunset coming and they're playing music and stuff. I stand there and wonder as I look at everyone seemingly doing just fine, all these fallen angels, how can they live with this? The time cycle is going to end here in X amount of time. And, but that's what they're experiencing. They don't experience something else. They don't, man, they don't, they experience a different reality that they know. They know their past lifetimes. They can read minds. A bunch of them don't have to eat or drink and all that stuff. They're living a completely different experience than you are with a completely different knowledge base. And if you look at them and you see by their actions, they're completely sanguine, right? Totally relaxed. Fine. Not stressed. Not really at all. These are the higher echelon ones that know it all, right? Playing a game in the Shire, they call it, there in the special beach kingdom, uh, where I've decided to study them in this situation in absolute detail. So, that's what ultimately, why am I bringing this up? Because ultimately, you see, that's a trust in God. They trust in God. You see, to say, I want you to sign the trust of God, and I don't want you to sign it. I want you to trust God. Like, trust God, not just sign the trust, but in your heart. Trust that God has it all under control. No stress for the opposition. Look at them, Jay. Look at them. They look like they're stressed. They ain't stressed at all. They're driving around the speed limit, Hey, drive your, loop. Go up this road, down that road, down this one, up there, over there, down there, down there. Stop by there, get a drink. Go there, go here, pick up your paper there. Go there, go there, go there. Go by the post office, and do your loop. Your that loop is for Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. On Monday and Tuesday, you do this loop, and Saturday and Sunday you do those loops. Make it look like there's a real, life out there, and it's really happening. Let's go, go, go! Out you go. It'd be a lot less stressful if I didn't actually have to drive. You know what I mean? Like if they were all robo taxis, so I'll just sit here looking like I'm going somewhere. I mean, you're just kind of waiting for your shift to be over. They're not stressed. They're just doing their shift. And they're with some enthusiasm or whatever, but that's all they're doing. You see it in their, they never break and never tell the truth about the game or nothing. Never, 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 never. That's what? How? That's not faith. That's not hope. That's not belief. That's absolute knowledge that doesn't allow space for anything else. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing outside what they know. They're not stressed at all. You see what I'm saying? On their shifts, it's like look like you're stressed or whatever. If you're in New York City, if you're in India, fucking blow your horn. Let's go. Like play your part where you are. They're doing all that. They're making some parts seem, oh wow, that's so exotic. You beep your horn to let your your brothers and sisters know you're close. And if you all in New York City beep your horn, you're like, hey man, I'm number one. You're not. That's what they're really doing out there. I mean, once you see through the whole mess, it's like, okay, this is quite an operation you have going here. You know what I mean? You're worried about GDP and what? You have unlimited everything, right? Like, I don't mean like unlimited everything to do anything. No, no, no. To do the script, the resources are there past abundance. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens on time. The loop, everyone does their part at the right time, doing the right thing. All that happens correctly. The trains run on time or not on time in Disney World exactly as they're supposed to. The avalanches happen, the earthquakes happen, everything's on time. Everything's okay. Hit the avalanche, boom, avalanche. Oh, earthquake over there, boom, boom. Everything, like the tumblers going around in the music box, and the little peg is up, and the thing that goes doing, as it's playing the beat. Oh, the little nub hit the doing, okay, earthquake, doing. The thing's just revolving around the player piano. Hit the note on the piano. Doing, earthquake. It's a script. And they all play their little roles. And, it makes this giant thing. Well, once you can see through it, does it have power over you? Do they have power over you? God has power over you because you're like, this is impossible. This is impossible. Like, it's the only rational explanation. But to see the vastness of it. And also at the same time that we're in a terrarium, this vast terrarium, enclosed space where everything is planned, yet it's vast and sort of infinite, but yet enclosed. It's, if you don't respect, fear, you know, be amazed by God, the power in this happen, making this happen. You just don't have. You're not seeing it. Uh, and that's why ultimately, what? This is a game, and you all were doing this. Why? For yourselves, yes, but you have to. Guess is God. They say in India. Whoever's playing the game, they're gonna be becoming God. Okay, so help them along the way. Uh, right? Uh, that's the game. Oh, we're all playing the game over here. Yeah, well, here comes an American. They might be. Oh, yeah, I see your tattoos. Oh, okay. You're just one of the hive. Cool. Oh, all right. You ever here playing a role and getting some good? Is the human coming? Maybe in about 2 weeks. Oh, all right. I'll just run my route in case. Okay. All right. I was practice over here running my route. Okay. They're bored, if anything, right? But they're fine. They're sanguine about it. They're just, hey, they're fine. We do this for 64 years, and then we're golden. And it's fine in between. It ain't that bad. Whatever. Even though the nothing is infinite, filled with the infinite rabbit holes, the rabbit holes themselves are often surprisingly shallow. Yes, you're like, ding! Wait, I can't get, honey, I can't dig past the. What is this? Oh, that's the firmament. You can't get out. Dig this way. It's like, wait, what is this thing? You mean I'm in like an actual cage? Oh yeah, but just dig this way. It's like, well, that kind of messing with me. Why am I in a cage? Oh, honey, just dig this way. But yeah, but what's this cage about? Just dig over here. Oh, a coyote ate me. Crap. Guess I'll reincarnate. It's not easy. This game is hard, but if you really know everything that's going on and so on, why would it stress you out? It's the only thing that's happening. It's perfectly scripted. Every song is like perfect. You know what I mean? Everything, every part of the script makes it obvious what's going on and who knows what's what and who doesn't. I can see him now. It's like so. You know, I think what I'm trying to say is the reason I didn't get into Revelation just straight ahead is because, the pain is real here in this scripted game. So, and we don't have an opponent in the game. I call it a game, but, war. In Revelation, they use the word war, and enemy and stuff. And that's really what it feels like, But if you can see past that, and see that it truly is a game with an opponent. And really, if an opponent is what we're just playing basketball together. Hey, we're gonna play tomorrow. Okay, let's play tomorrow. That was fun. Okay, see you guys later. That kind of opponent, enemy, or something. You know what I mean? Like that's fine. And that's how ultimately you win this game when you're like, okay, high five. Yeah, your team did pretty good. You had me there for a while. Hey, I'm gonna pray for your team because it's that's good. It's like the Harlem Globetrotters, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like the other team, wherever the Harlem Globetrotters are playing, they're going to win, and they're going to make the other ones look like idiots. So ultimately, once you have the truth, like me, I'm like when the Harlem Globetrotters are like, watch what I can do, and they're like, the other team is like, okay, fine, dribble around me. You know what I mean? Like they're just playing their part so that I can have my moment. Whoop, 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 choo, whoop. Didn't even look. It's in. Yes. So it's not really the other team isn't fully playing the Harlem Globetrotters. Yes. No, they're doing a bunch of tricks and stuff. You see what I'm saying? It's a rigged game where one side, obviously, if there are children in the audience of the Harlem Globetrotters, and I think I saw them once as a child in DC. And of course, you're like, what? They're just went right around the guy. That guy just threw it in from half. He didn't even look. All this stuff is like, it's a vaudeville act. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. And it makes you wonder too, like, how did they beat him? Like obviously it's a game, it's planned and so on, but it's still pretty fun to watch and pretty fun to go see and all that kind of stuff. But that's what it's like. It's all figured out on the other team. They don't tell the children, hey, oh, Globetrotter, it's all fake. Don't go in there. It's like, let them have their time. Let the children have a good day. Don't tell them that. Let them figure it out for themselves. It'll be more fun that way. Okay. That's what it's like. Okay. So, uh, 3 days ago, we stopped 10 feet past the flag man on the side of the road. He started to talk like the Truman Show, right? I'm just saying. Once you see through it. So I said, I hope you can forgive me. He said, yes, I can. There's the animosity dries up between you and the other team when it's a game. You don't have to play it 24/7. Oh, it's a game. And if you already played your game and you see the end of the game and you won and the game's rolling your, hey, you want to play again? It's like, thank you very much for inviting me to play the game again. I'm no, thank you, but thank you very much. You know what I mean? I'll watch, okay, from over here. Okay. You guys are good. I'm watching you. They're fine. Okay, so I'm fine too. All right. In other words, your actions are showing me that even though you know everything, you pay your bills, you don't do nothing but whatever this little script thing you do, you seem fine with it. You seem completely chill. Like you're oh, what's that word Buddha is? Uh oh, Buddha has a good word for that. Uh Tell me, please. It's not. He won't tell me. But I'm saying sanguine for today. Okay. Uh yeah, can tell me. I'm sitting there looking at Buddha over here. He won't tell me nothing. Wait does she tell me? I like Buddha, Mama. Tell me. Uh, oh, it's so close. Velocity. Oh, not happening. But you see, what Buddha called the middle path, the middle way, and also the Upanishads is called the razor's edge. Just walk along with a razor blade there. That's the path right there, the middle way, right? You mean right on the razor blade? That's the one. Walk along that. It's like, ouch. Youch. Then I blessed him in the name of Jesus Christ and told him his lucky day. That's funny. I don't. I care. I'm careful to come away from that lucky word, Lucifer word, but you know, uh, but you're right. And so, but I say, fortunate. But how's that different? Like, But yes, exactly. You pray for them, and then your way changes. And you do it over and over again. That lets them know by your actions you completely changed your ways. You understand the whole game and everything, and they can like be more in chill mode around you because they don't have to turn you or nothing because they're gonna try and turn you back a few times. But once you're like, we keep checking the pH of the pool level and he's fine. The pool's fine. So the pool's fine. And so they quit with the test. They're like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? All right. Good to see you. Hey, hey. You know, you're fine with the game because your knowledge base is very similar to their knowledge base. You have a oh, I can't remember all my previous lifetimes, but you get that they do. I've explained it in detail. You can see it from their actions. They know the whole script. once you know what they're up to, you can see it in their actions, period. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then they're with you. They're like, hey, okay, okay. You made it, kind of. All right. You're hanging around waiting for God to let you out. Okay, that's cool. All right, have a good time. Uh, we got food over there, whatever. All right, see ya. That's more the attitude on the other team as you go. You're not going to burn the place down like you used to. Okay, cool, cool. I was like, I'm going to burn the place down on the day. And they're like, yeah, yeah, no, we know that, but you're fine today. I'm cool today. All right. Regarding walking the Ranger's Edge, oh, how much a donation would help you reach more people? What a question. Honestly, let's just say no one. The people that have supported me, people in here, Jay and George, you two have been extremely supportive. More supportive than almost anyone in the history of my work. Pamela Poe, the Poe family, more than anyone in the history of my work. You know what I'm saying? I could never even imagine that they would even get me this far in this work, to be honest with you. Honestly, that is a fact. I never thought that would happen. So that's kind of surpassed where I thought I'd ever be getting the truth out. But it's not about money. Exactly. Although a steady stream of donation, because I don't need much. I need to keep the internet on and stuff like that. If I get more money, I put it into like paid advertising to get the word out more. But honestly, there's just one thing that would help very much as a donation. It's not money, but and I'm not saying do this. Money does help because got to keep this thing on, and Liberty Aid Academy on and all that stuff. But a physical location like a church, I'm just saying a church with a home on the physical land, you know what I mean? Where we could really go at this with cameras permanently in place, recording everything and testing this, you know, spiritual, financial, all the technology in a place where everyone can gather. That's a church that ain't mine. It's like here you go, God, and people could be there, and people could form a group who want to be there and take the time to form make decisions on what to do and advance individual technologies of like free home and financial stuff and so on. Like a physical place to do that. That's under a house of God for the children of God. Because a saint, a prophet, they never get that. You see what I'm saying? They don't get that. The other team has that. All them religious, all them people, they don't have the truth like I. They don't have that, and they're not. Their script doesn't allow them to give it to me or invite me to it or nothing like that. So that actual one thing, I don't. It's not. But thank you for asking that question. But you know, financial donations are helpful, but that's the one thing that just is. I mean, God could achieve anything, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the thing that's just so far past achievable. Like I'm working in baby steps to get there, but that's the one, if there's a place where people could gather in a certain location that people could know it's there, even if they're coming from someone else to take a pilgrimage and be like, I'll stay in the area, I'll come visit there, and you know, like that, I think it would become the mecca for truth. So that's one thing, and that's not for me, that's for everyone else, so they could, like the people on here, it's like, well, you could come down on a Sunday to this location instead. That I think would be the most beneficial thing to people, to not just be on here, but to have a physical location where they could go. That would be, one thing, if you're asking for pie in the sky, that's the one. Okay. So it's not about money, but any donation helps. Thank you for that question. I don't know where you came out of. Is that a Kamajija? what, I don't know. That's a cool name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Kama Geisha. I'm gonna go with, yeah. So you came, you went, right? How does it say Revelations? That reminds me of that. The one that is ah art, west, and art to come. Yes, your name is a play on that. Yes, yes, I get it. But thank you for that question. Interesting. You see, not to blow your cover fully, but you know, they can ask questions at some point and be like, hey, what would, and that plants a seed. That's not saying anything, but that's asking a question that someone here hasn't asked yet, and pushing spiritual frontier further by interjecting something that needs to be interjected that the one of the 7,000 haven't thought of. And so a question was asked. And I thank you for that question. And may you earn your feathers and wings. I know what's up. uh, yeah, that's what you're seeing, no doubt, Shay. George, As-Sarat is, according to Islam, the bridge over which every person must pass on a day of resurrection. Yeah, in order to enter paradise. Yes, right. Yeah, the bridge. I mean, there's somehow you get from life in this body to out of the body to over there. That's right. That, name it a bridge, right? That makes sense. Because you're going going traveling over the ocean to the ocean. Yes, oh, bridge, traveling over the water. It is mentioned in the Quran and is described in the Hadith as Surat is said to be thinner than a strand of hair and as sharp as the sharpest knife or sword because of his danger. Wow, yeah, interesting. That's maybe a description of the firmament, eh? Like a bridge. Ooh, the firmament, that boundary, similar to going through the eye of a needle. Yeah, like the windows of heaven, Judgment Day readout. Nice. Redux. I'm going to email from my Liberty Aid Academy account something that I welcome your insight. Okay, great. Also, uh, Kamagesha. Let's just, I'm probably mispronouncing it. Kamagesha. Email's okay. Uh, yeah. In Liberty Aid Academy, it's really, if you want me the most direct way, it's in the forum over there on Liberty Aid Academy. But I'm really watching over that the most because I got the most people over there. Uh, so you could do it that way too. You can private message me over there, or you can, but email's fine. Tammy's the front line on email, and that's fine. She's the best. She is. God sent me the best, and if she does the work, and you may need just her help, or I'm just saying if you need to get to me or something like that. Best way is like at Liberty Aid Academy's private forum, heartbeat thing, classroom over there. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's also that's where your brothers and sisters are over there with all the topics and stuff. That's where your homies are. So it's not just me, but it's actually everyone you want to, in here, and all the people doing this that have the truth. That's what they all are doing their work. So it's not just me you'll find in there. Uh, okay, but thank you for that question. What a question! I mean, you haven't been in here before, and you asked that question right away. That's very uh, very usual that someone takes out an acupuncture needle and chooses the right location and punctures it right there, boom. Like, wow, that's someone with a lot of heart. So, all right, Jay, good vid that Mike made. Oh yeah, dude, yeah. Oh, watch. Yes. Oh, Mike's down here where I am, so yeah, it was great to travel to India with him too. He's really, I love that guy. 100% from his heart, and you know, that's not saying you're always happy or nothing like that, or are you happy with you? Right? No, but he is mostly. But I'm just saying, he is 100% for the heart. He's a real sweet guy. It really, he would ask me, well, what can I do to do it? And here he is going to do it. God gave him the circumstances where he has to do what he has to do. So thank you, God. I blame it on you, and he does. Uh, but he's doing all the right things to help so many people. I mean, that's what I say when asked, Kamagesha would be the most helpful, like for Jay and George and stuff to know, oh, I could meet Mike on Sunday at the church. He's going to be there. Like that, a location. So not just for me, but for everyone to like gather together and be like, hey, dude, and to event clubs and gathering times or whatever. Hey, it ain't got to be just me on Sunday talking here. You guys could do something, get together and decide what you're going to do. You know, you free home group while you work on some, and we're gonna need to eat some someday. Who's interested in a cookout? Or, all the things where gathering could be interesting and fun and could pretty continuous, and that would really advance people. I think in the most way. But I don't ask God for things. I don't, but I try to be practical. And if God don't give them, I'm like, well, there must be technology you want me to uncover that goes and gets a church. So I'm like, okay. Uh, but if I were given one, that's what I use it for, is to make it so everyone could use it. And, you know, who's got the keys? And we're going to need a bunch of keys to the place, and, like that. And who's going to do what, and what's fun to do, and what's stupid to do, and who knows, like that. He helped on your mobile. He did help, and now it's on the market, Jay. So he did help. No, he did help, and it's going good. It's a nice shape. I just want to be in okay shape for whoever's going to be in it next. I'm just renting this place, so Uh, hopefully, some is very reasonably priced. Right now, it's at $34,777 for a nice redone mobile home at Osprey. $750 a month, paying for the land and the trash and the water and the landscaping. It's a great location, not that far from the water. As a crow flies, and it's in Osprey. I like it there, but we're moving on because it just doesn't physically have enough space for two people to really be in it 100% comfortably. But for like one person, it's a palace at a great location. Two people could do it, and we did it for 8 years. You know, uh, but anyway, that's what's up with that. So Mike did help. Thank you for asking. It was a great help. He was there a few days. That guy is, Mike's great in every way, shape, or form. I went to go see his place too, where he is. And it's been good having a connection to Mike, and that's why I'm like, I only got this one guy around here, and he's busy, and I'm busy, and he's close, but he's not that close. And that's why when asked what the best thing would be is a place. That's all. Not for me, just for the, I thought there's supposed to be houses of God where people who are really interested in God can get together. That's all I want. Anybody interested? Who? Hey, the place is free. Every day and night here. If y'all want to get together sometime, do things. That that's what I think. way on the down low, way under the radar. I'm working on a monastery. Oh, a house from someone I know. Cool. Beautiful. That's interesting. Is Mike living in a bus? Yes. Or is that someone? No, that's Mike. That's Mike. But he's got a piece of land, uh, you know, that I went and visited. So anyway, all right, everyone. Prayers for the Poe family, right? One coming, one going. The pain is real, as you know, and that's why we come in here. So I'm not, you know, the truth sets you free. So knowing, that the great patriarch has merely done his role, and God has blessed him with, okay, take a break with me. You're my homie. Come here. Uh, once a real, true understanding happens, that missing someone never goes away. I still miss my father. Been 15 years or something. That guy, turned me on. Hey, maybe things aren't as they seem. You know, didn't have all the answers, but definitely opened the door to questioning. And so I miss him every day. That part I ain't gonna go away, but uh, it's an understanding that we all have to do that. So that's a teaching. It's the final teaching. You're going to one day have to leave the body and go back with God, whether you die or you're popped out of here or whatever. This isn't the final place. So, is it if you've kept a roof over your family's head, left them something, in their bank account, and so on, so they can focus on the truth and God? Uh, what more is there to teach them but the final lesson of making it to God through death, really, and dropping the body and going there? Actually, if you've done every other lesson right, and this Pope family is really something. So it looks like the father did a right job to me. And so is it the final lesson to be like, okay, I did my job and you guys are good? Trust in God. You say you trust in God, now trust in God. You can do this. You know, isn't that the final uh, bit of love to say you're ready to do that? And you can do it without me? Isn't that, you know, giving, the final judgment that you could do this. You raise you up right, and you could do this. Isn't that the final judgment? To do that is the final action of judgment, to leave the body and say, you no longer need me physically, you could do it, and then to go. Isn't that really, the final action that says you can do this? So if you look at it that way, the passage of a great patriarch that's done all the right things is really, you know, you should be, you know, do so well. You see what I'm saying? I should do so well. Like anyone should do so well as to do that. You see what I'm saying? It's the ultimate. You did your job, checked all the boxes, everyone's good, and so you did your job. Let me show you. They'll be fine. The ones you leave behind, if you teach them right, you could go and they will make it. All right. All right, everyone. Really, thank you for the support. What a sweet thought to enter into my head, convocation. That was very sweet question. Thank you. And these people in here, they do the supporting as best they can. I don't mean pretend. They for real do that. And I receive that, and that's why I'm here. Is the outcome of that support. Like I don't, this system rejects the truth, hates my guts, and make every day a difficult day for me because I do this. But these people here, they support me, and so they should be judged by God for doing that and win the game. So listen, next time we gather, we're gonna, God willing, inshallah, right? God willing, we're gonna do Revelation. So listen. I'm gonna leave you with this, okay? Because this is how I'm gonna start next time. Obviously, I have information that the rest of the human population don't have because God gives me that information. But my goal is that everyone should come to God, everyone get Christ consciousness, that everyone achieves that. So when we go through Revelation, at the beginning, you and I are going to say a prayer for each other. Anyone that's there doing this next course, right? This next work with Revelation, you and I are going to pray for each other that we receive the Holy Spirit, right? The information from Gabriel the angel, that we receive squeeze every bit of juice out of this lime. You know what I'm saying? I hear it all and know it all. That's receiving the gift of prophecy from God. So I'm not only going to work and go over this, but you all are on a road to God. So you must become prophets, basically. So I'm going to help you practice to become prophets. You open up the window to heaven, and you begin to hear from God. So we're going to practice that and go through it together. You see, we're going to work on that. Right? And we're going to do revelations. We're going to do a start to finish. I'm going to try it by doing that, open up that window, that gateway, and do that by doing it together. Okay. So pray for that you receive that. I'm going to help. I'm going to do my best to make that happen. You know what I mean? To plant that seed, water it, and grow that plant of prophecy, all in our interaction through going through Revelations. That's a goal of it, not just to give you the information, no, to give you the ability to prophesy by seeing it and experiencing it yourself, and then opening up that space for God to come in and do that through you. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're going to work on. I was going to start with a prayer and say that, but now you got a week to work on it. Okay, pray for it. That's what we're going to work on. All right, all right. Okay, so thanks for the support. I'm going to do my best, support you right back, and try and give you all the tools, to be one with God. I'm happy to be as much of an intermediate as I can be, but I really just want to hold the space and let you and God work it out 101, mostly, and be here to help with that. That's all. Because we're individually reuniting with God. No one's reuniting with me or nothing like that. We're all engaged in the same process. I just achieved it, so it's like, okay, let me try my best to jumpstart this thing on your end as much as I can, and then propel it forward. Oh, hey, you're riding the bike. Keep riding. Don't stop. Keep pedaling like that. Okay, that's what we're gonna focus on. Uh, you know, God willing, that everyone's alive next time. And uh, but honestly, prayers for the great patriarch to go forward and continue all of his journey with God, and not with no veils. All veils gone. Yay. Okay. Until next time, everyone, thanks for joining me. Thanks for the support. Uh, and I think everyone here has really settled in with the truth and so on. And now it's time for sort of the final process, of incubation, where, let's receive individually, each one of us, right? Not just me. I want to be one with God. I want to hear directly from God. I want to be able to prophesy. I want to know everything. Fill me in. Like, let's start with that step by step. We'll do that through revelation. Okay. And so I'm going to say, hey, so what do you're supposed to be typing in there something. Hey, what about this? What about, you see what I'm saying? Be willing to interject and come forward and so on, like that. Okay. And what comes to you. And then, you begin that process of doing that. All right. That's our goal next time when we get together for revelations. All right. All right, Alan. I know, I, you know, I know that words fail in this situation, and the heart, is left to deal with the impossible situation, and somehow, does somehow, in the end, with God's help. So, and I wish that for you. Uh, I really do, with all my heart. You're such a wonderful family, and I know this is a very difficult time. And at the same time, it's a very wonderful time. I mean, it's really God's, keeping us in the game and making it hard to be in the game at the same time. Uh, I know it's not easy, and I know it's the greatest time in your family's life, and I know it's the most difficult at the exact same time. I know that's difficult. So I'm going to say my prayer, God watches over your whole family. I really want that for you. Okay. All right, Jay. Make a plan to go to Florida. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to see anyway. May Jesus Christ watch over your family. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. All right. Until next week. If you need me at all, Alan, I'm here. Text, call. I'm your guy. All right. God bless you all. And God watch over everyone, especially the Pope family, especially this week. And you're gonna just because you say I'm your guy, Ray, I'm your guy. They need something this week, something individualized this week. If you could please send them something that makes it easier. I'm going to ask for a special prayer. That's what I'm asking. What? What? Yes, I'm asking. So listen, move about. Let's go. Move about. All right, everyone. God bless you. Anyway, also, hey, listen, really, I don't do this work because, and go through all this for any other reason. Two reasons, right? I love God and I love you, right? Love God, love your brothers and sisters. Obviously, I do both. So I love you. See you next Sunday. God bless you.